We are gonna be live. We are live. We are live. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome along to another episode of the Premier League Forum. Week 31, this is, of our show reviewing the Premier League action for all teams in the division. No Arsenal bias. Well, not from anyone else except me anyway. I'm joined, as I am usually, by two of my usual guests. Drew, how you doing?
Uh, to, I'm pretty good at the moment. It's been a great week to be a City fan. So
Excellent. Yes, it has. Yes, it has. And we shall be talking about that in depth. Let me just select a more appropriate background if I can. Let's see if I can get this one.
It's appropriate.
Yeah, there we go. A bit of that, I think.
it's definitely appropriate. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. No,
Yeah.
definitely. No, yeah. Can't see any Arsenal, so that's cool.
There you go. Oh, no, we'll have you
Nope.
there, we'll have you there,
There
and
we
then me
go.
in the middle. There you go.
Yep.
You see? Above your respective teams.
The Brady Bunch, yeah.
So I just need to do a bit of housekeeping. So if you just give me a second, I will bring up the. What am I going to bring up for you to
Fixture list. You're going to bring up the
talk
game.
to us about?
Oh, Mane
Results.
becoming doing his MMA stuff, yeah.
Okay, let's go there. Let's go there. Go on, Neil. Lead us in, will you? Talk to us. What are your feelings on this?
Do you know what, right? Sadio's not had the greatest start at Bayern. I mean, he's kind of done okay, but he's been injured. He hasn't played as many games as he probably thought he was. And he probably thought that when he was coming in, he was going to be towards the top of the pecking order. But as he's found out, he's not. Yeah. Sané just probably told him to put him in his place. Look, you're behind me, mate. You stay there. And he probably reacted by punching his lights out. That's not the truth, but you know, that's my truth.
So that was the biased Liverpool opinion. Give us the Man City opinion with
Bias.
your player.
It's an interesting one. I mean, there's been a lot of reports come out in the media recently about the fact that Sane hasn't actually been living in Germany. Apparently, he's been to and fro in between Manchester, London, and Munich over the past 2 months because his girlfriend, who's a Manchester girl, decided to flee back to England because she hated living in Munich that much. All this with the fact that we know from when Mane was at Liverpool, he's a workhorse. He's all about the game.
Yeah.
Other reports that came out about Sane when he was at City, he can be lazy, he can be difficult. Doesn't take away from the fact that he's one hell of a footballer, but you mix those two characters together, you are going to get sparks occasionally. Should Mane have punched him? Definitely not. But I mean, Sane's quite a punchable guy at the same time as well. So
He's got one of those faces.
He genuinely does have one of those faces, yeah.
And it looks even worse now he slicked his hair back anyway, especially for that game.
Yeah, it's kind of like Ibrahimovic light his hair at the moment.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny how both their names kind of rhyme as well.
Well,
So I'm just going on a different tangent. Sorry,
apparently, though, it has happened before, though, with Sane when he was at was it Schalke? He was at before City signed him. He rubbed up another one of the Senegalese players the wrong way whilst he was there, because obviously his father was a Senegalese international. Certain players have taken it as slight offence that he chose to represent Germany ahead of the country of his family, essentially. So, I mean, there's lots of reasons I can see that there would be tension between the two.
I can see why he would have done that, because Mane's all about Senegal.
Yeah,
the stuff that he does, the money he sends home, the schools and all that sort of stuff that he helps
well,
out.
it was reading before the game. Apparently, so obviously Mane's on this 130,000 a week. He's currently taking 10,000 a week though, and the rest is going into donations to his home country.
Listen, he did that at Liverpool as well. I don't know what he was actually donating, but he was donating it. What was reportedly
Apparently,
a pretty
Liverpool
big
is around
figure.
like 50% of his wage.
Yeah,
which
is
that would still have
big
been
figure.
over 50,000 a week.
Yeah,
I mean, I've got mad respect for the guy, quite frankly. He's one player that's played for Liverpool I will not slate in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, he loves his people, he loves his country, and he'll do anything to help them, and that's what he's doing. So I can see why he's probably going to have a go at any Senegalese player who will not play for the country and play for another country.
Yeah,
I get that.
Cool.
Patriotism, isn't it? He's a patriot, so
Yeah.
what more can you say, you know?
So yeah, interesting points raised by both of you. All I'm gonna say on the matter is I bet this happens at every club up and down the country in every division every week of the year.
Of course it does. Of
Yeah.
course
Yeah.
it does.
So to me, it's no biggie.
Yeah, but most of
And
those players,
you know-
to the
you
media,
know
most
what
of those players
do you know
aren't worth
what-
talking about, right?
Exactly. Do you know what this falls into? This falls into this category. Things that happen in the
I'm choking, mate.
Can I just say, with the whole Robertson thing, though, I mean, if you've got any mates from Glasgow or you've ever been to Glasgow, you know that was merely just a love tap that he got.
That was nothing.
I mean,
That was nothing to
there's
him.
not enough for him to be grabbing his face. He will not be allowed back in Glasgow for being such a fanny about it, quite
No,
frankly.
but to be honest, when he got elbowed, he didn't even flinch. His head didn't even move. You know, so it wasn't. You know, it wasn't that hard. He knew it happened, but it wasn't that hard. And yeah, the way he was holding his shoulder, chin, as Keane said, he's been such a big baby. And he was.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the assistant should never have done that. And as I said to some guys that I'm in a group with, I said, he will get protected and nothing will happen to him. Look how quickly they came to that decision.
and
If
so
that was
they should have done.
No,
That
but if it was
absolute-
no, but if it was a football player and the player had done that, right?
Yeah.
You know, he would have got a red card, right? He would have got sent off.
Hang on. Let's not say if, because it happens every week. Again, I'm going to come back to this scenario. Physicality in football is a given. Pushes, shoves, elbows. Listen, bro, I'm going to tell you something for nothing. I have a hole right here in my lip. I boxed for, I've got all my trophies up there on the wall. Yeah, boxing trophies. And nobody has ever put a hole in my lip. I went in for a challenge and a fella kicked me in the mouth. Kicked me. My lip hit my bottom teeth and went straight through. And I ended up going to hospital and having stitches in the bottom. My bottom lip here is completely numb. And I'm going to tell you for nothing. It happens every week in Sunday League. It happens every week in lower league football. It happens every week in upper league football. Football is a physical game. You will get hurt. You will get elbows. You will get punches. Yeah? It doesn't matter. Wherever you are in the game of football, it's a physical game. It's not a non-touch game. It's not a non-contact game.
No, but it's about intent, right?
All right. And that's where it all falls down to. So if two players decide to larrup each other and they're on the same team, c'est la vie. That just happens to happen in football.
I say send them both off, man. Send them both off.
Well, it reminds me of when David Batty and Graham Lasso had a dust up at Newcastle.
Yeah.
You know, look, people have been making comment about this incident in comparison to Mitrovic. Yeah. In my opinion, and tell me, guys, if you differ, but these are totally different affairs. Mitrovic's is a clear, I'm taking the ref by hands and giving him a shove. Whereas what this is, oh, come out of the way, man. And oops, sorry, I didn't mean to hit you. I accidentally caught you in my elbow while I was. Come out of the way, man.
I don't think it wasn't deliberate.
It wasn't
because where he was, and where the way the elbow, because the elbow didn't have to come up that high. It didn't have to come up that high.
Yeah, we say that all the time about headers when when the player's going up for a header and you go, oh, but why is his elbow?
But the assistant wasn't jumping up for a ball.
It doesn't have to be. He's like, what the hell? Protestation.
Nah, is
Shut
that
up,
he did
man.
that. He did that.
The
He didn't
thing
do
is,
that.
as an
He did
official,
that.
though, you are
Yeah.
held to higher standards than the players.
You know, when a brother says, what the hell, this hand is coming up, innit?
Yeah, but he's not a brother though.
I'm willing to bet he's got a bit of something. Hey, look, he's Greek, man. He's Greek. You know what I mean? Brown skin.
No, I just knew that when it happened, I kind of thought, oh bloody hell, here we go. And my first thought is nothing's going to happen to the assistant anyway. Nothing happened.
As Drew said, he's a Scotsman. The fact that he tried to make hay out of that silly little incident was
but did he though? Did he though?
He was running around clutching his face, showing anyone.
No, because his mates are around him. But what I'm saying is, it was the media, and it was Keane who made more of an incident of it.
Look at his face,
and then it got investigated because it had to get investigated, right?
Look at his face, bro. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke.
No, that's just being in the right place at the right time with a camera.
Were all of the cameras around the field also in the right place at the right time? Because he was running around like a complete and utter fanny afterwards. So
they chose the right picture to make it look.
Jürgen, look,
he was being dramatic. The lip. He was elbowed. He was elbowed. It wasn't that. In my view, I didn't think it was that hard at all.
No, this is the thing. I'm going to say one thing though, and this is going to be controversial. I actually think that Robertson running up to the linesman and harassing him there, that was probably more of an offence than Mitrovic grabbing hold of the referee the other week.
Oh, that has been very controversial.
No, but here's my full opinion on it though. I think Mitrovic had every right to be incensed by piss poor refereeing decisions at that moment in time. I think there had been a series of poor decisions. I think that he had been getting free kicks given against him for challenging for the ball fairly. He shouldn't have done it. There's no justification
for anyone to put their hands on anyone. Even when Robertson ran up, he should never have touched the assistant, in my view. He should never have touched it.
It's just there's certain times where the provocation is higher.
Yeah, it's just like when Fernandez got away with that slight push in the back of what was the ref's name that he did? There was one where he got away with. Nobody said nothing about it, but people bring it up now. That's it. Yeah. So ever since then, ever since the Robertson thing, people are kind of bringing up all the other incidents. And you know what? Players should never touch or crowd a referee. They should never do that.
Well, I was wondering what's happened to this whole rule of two thing that we had literally a month ago that was actually being enforced. All of a sudden, you're getting a whole squad flock again to the referee.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we literally had 3 players booked in one game for going up as a free.
But you see, because the thing is, right, you got to look at it that each incident is treated completely differently. Yeah, my view is if you say, do you know what, no more than one player, and that player should be the captain who's going to approach over an incident. Any player after that should get a yellow card. And as soon as they start dishing out yellow cards, you will notice players will not do that anymore. But they know that nothing's going to happen to them, so they will do it. Yeah, you have to lay down a law to make those players think about that before they act. At the moment, that's not happening. And that's why you've seen these incidents with Robertson running up behind what's his name and Mitrovic putting his hands on, because a lot of the times nothing happens. You know.
Anyway, we digress.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the matters of football that were affecting our respective teams and the league for the last week. So we had a couple of weeks off for international duty, and to be honest, the Man U, the Aston Villa, the Brentford, the Fulham, the Leicester,
the Spurs and the Wolves are just crap. The City was a crap result as well. Let's get to the
Um,
juicy game.
No, I think we should actually. No, we need to talk about the Tottenham game whilst Andy isn't here, because Andy will tell you that was a great 3 points for Spurs, but we all know that it should have been 4-1 to Brighton.
Yeah, it was an awful refereeing game for poor old Brighton. I mean, literally, the referee chalking off what looked like a decent goal because it was apparent handball, and then not giving a penalty. What was a stonewall.
And then the PGMOL apologized.
Yeah.
After the game, it's just like, really?
It's just. I mean, what's funny is I'm watching that game live. I don't normally watch Spurs, but I just thought, let me see some of their pain. And lo and behold, I'm thinking to myself, okay, they've gone ahead, but Brighton come back, and they now all of a sudden this game is all Brighton. And then I see this non penalty, and I'm like, they've literally managed to identify that was a penalty on TV, like 10 seconds after the event.
Yeah, but it wasn't a penalty though. Yeah, it wasn't a penalty. Clearly, because they would have. If it was, they would have given a penalty.
I mean,
right?
You can't go wrong by just saying, you know what? If I've got all these screens showing me all these angles, why don't I just stick like Optus Sport on, or whatever sport channel from wherever, which English commentary that allows me to just hear another viewpoint of what incidents are happening, because these people are missing things that are easily identified by professional footballers in the studios at the same time as the game.
But we know week in, week out, right? The refs do not do. There's always going to be one game where the refs do a crap thing. Yeah, they just don't see it. They're not helped by the linesman. They're not helped by VAR. And a lot of these incidents, they keep happening, and they happen on a regular basis. Yeah, it needs to be reevaluated. The refs' jobs needs to be reevaluated. They need to be tested. They need to be checked. Yeah, because clearly,
I think their view, checked, not just for competency though, but for any form of bias. Because quite honestly, that's the 3rd or 4th time this season Brighton have been completely screwed by a VAR decision in a tight game.
Yeah, but as I said, at the end of the day, you've got to look at it that it's the human error. It's the human error that's causing problems. Whether it's biased against Brighton or not, it's very easy to say that. It's very easy to say that whatever team is playing, clearly. The Premier League and the refs are trying to do a number so that they don't finish in a certain position. Yeah, something needs to happen where what's happening now is less and less each week, rather than the same amount or more each week, which is what we're seeing. Stupid, and the thing is, it's the blatant ones that everybody's questioning. It was clearly a penalty. Yeah, clearly a penalty.
Where we are seeing less errors on the whole, though, the errors that we are seeing now, they're amplified so much. It's incensing every football fan now, and it's not a good position or a good look for refereeing in this country right about now, because they've got the technology to be making the right decisions. How are they still making wrong decisions?
We know that a lot of instances the technology is not used correctly, or they don't use the technology at all. Yeah, and that's the thing, is because there's always going to be a reason why. This particular incident, you don't need to use VAR, or you need to use this. I think that they need to reevaluate the rules around using VAR. If you're going to use it for everything. Yeah, or don't use it at all. Yeah, that way you can't say there's a bias, because everything's going to get checked. But who am I? I'm just
anyway. Let's move on, shall we, gentlemen? So obviously we've talked about the Tottenham Brighton game, 2-1 to Tottenham. Begrudgingly, we all know what happened there. Man United, an impressive 2-0 win against struggling Everton. Everton won.
Was it really impressive? Everton are struggling.
Yeah.
To be fair, Everton to me right now look like they're focusing on the games against the teams around them.
Yeah.
That's how they're going to stay up. They don't care about these teams against.
Well, we don't know if they're going to stay up.
Teams in top half.
Yeah, we don't know if they're going to stay up. And
no,
that's the thing. There's too many teams
there are
there.
just so many teams at the bottom of the table, and
exactly
just to kind of
you got the table there.
Let me bring up the bottom of the table.
That's not the bottom. There we go.
There we go. I mean, look, 27 to 31, which is 4 points. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. It's like, it's just so tight. Who is safe? Nobody. West Ham, Bournemouth, Leeds, Everton, Forest. I don't know why, but I just got this feeling Leicester will somehow get out. Anyone else feel that?
I can't see it.
No, I think Leicester will produce a Houdini this season.
They're going to start tomorrow. I reckon they're going to start tomorrow.
I see teams that will go down instead of them would more like Everton, Leeds, even Bournemouth.
Yeah.
I think those teams will finish below
If
Leicester.
we look at goal difference, then Leicester are the best team down the bottom because they got, with West Ham, the best goal difference.
Well, they're scoring goals, aren't they?
Yeah, they're also conceding a hell of a lot of goals, though.
They are. But look how much goals Nottingham Forest, Everton, Leeds, Bournemouth are conceding. Even Wolves have all conceded more goals. So, that's why I'm looking at those teams and thinking, well, if you go by the team that lets in the most goal, and I know these goal difference figures can be skewed by 7-0 drubbing, which a few of these teams have had. But, I kind of feel like, Leicester, they're not the worst team down there.
And when
19 games.
When you look at their squad as well, when you look at their squad and you compare their squad to all the other teams, they have a much better squad.
But they're not fit and playing though.
Yeah, this is the truth.
Well, we'll have to see as and when these players do become fit and when they do start playing. We'll just have to see. And hopefully for Leicester, it's not right in the last game when it's too late.
What about Aston Villa, boys? Aston Villa are flying high. Unai Emery.
I think he's starting to prove that he was actually a better manager than what Arsenal fans thought he was.
Well, he was definitely better than Gerrard, right?
Yeah.
Look at that. I mean, 6th place in the table.
They're doing well. He's done well with that team. To be honest, I thought when he came in, I thought he'd steady the ship and he'd get them away from the relegation, but I didn't think he'd get them into European positions.
But you've got to look at his track record though. He is actually a winner.
Yes, but you got to look at the team. Yeah, look at the team he's done it with.
You got to be asking yourself, like, what are Chelsea doing? They just reinvested in a failure, a specialist in failure.
Wait. Let me just ask you something, right? Fat Frank has been there for 2 games. What's his win-loss ratio? I know it's only 2 games, but what is his win-loss ratio?
When you say his win-loss ratio, should we go over his past 16 Premier League games?
No. I'm just talking about
13 defeats in 16 as well, so it don't get better if we go back historically.
I'm just talking about him coming back to Chelsea, because normally when a manager comes in at a team, normally that team will play well for 1 or 2 games. Chelsea are playing no better.
They have improved. They've gone from shit to mediocre.
Oh man! I mean, there's big old Frank. There he is. Got a nice, candid picture of Frank in his glory.
Yeah.
But I don't want to pick on Frank too much because I actually don't think Frank's a bad manager.
Tony, go back to the league table and look at the
Yeah.
goal difference of Chelsea.
-2.
But we can't blame Frank for that.
No. You can't
I mean,
blame
the
him for
minus
that.
figure we actually can.
Hang on a second, mate. He started the mess and he's finishing the mess, isn't he?
Well, no, he never started this Todd Bowley race to the bottom stuff.
Oh,
But I do kind of think though someone needs to explain to Todd Bowley it's not like the NBA. If you finish at the bottom, you don't get to pick better players next season.
mm.
No. That's why he bought those players in the window. Remember, he's brought in a load of players. I mean, he had so many players that Potter couldn't even put them in the team.
So Apollo's
Yeah,
listening in,
team,
guys.
yeah.
He is away currently, but he's managed to find himself a bit of time to be able to listen into the show. Greetings to you, Apollo. Hope you're enjoying.
I hope you're enjoying the yoga.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like some nice calm relaxment for him to go with it. So
yeah. Oh, he said agree. Somebody actually agreed with me. That's nice. Cheers, Apollo.
There you go. So yeah. What else can we talk about from last week's fixtures? Let me just bring them up again quickly. So Aston Villa's doing well. Newcastle against Brentford was a very entertaining game.
Yeah, it was a great game, and to be honest, it could have gone either way. But Newcastle's current form.
Well, no, this is the thing. I said when we saw that horrible run of fixtures for Newcastle, the 3 away games, that's the game they lose. If they got through the Brentford game, Newcastle take 9 points out of the 3 away games. That's 6 points down now.
Yeah.
I think, I think they're absolutely brilliant at the moment. And Isak.
And do you know what, right? The thing with Newcastle is that I personally believe they're not motoring on all cylinders yet. They haven't
had their first team out there.
Yeah, I don't think that we've seen. Yeah, but I don't think that we've seen the best of Newcastle, and that's a scary thing to me. Yeah, we haven't seen the best of them. They've done well, and in some games they've kind of struggled to get the points, but they still got the points. Yeah, it's not like they've gone on this magical ride where no team stands a chance or gets any opportunities in the games or looks really bad against them. We have not seen the best of Newcastle, and look where they are.
I mean, they've lost less games than Man City.
Yep,
it's phenomenal.
It's that draw figure though, isn't it? Is Newcastle's problem.
Yeah.
Yep.
To be honest, that was Arsenal last year. We had like so many draws last year. But yeah, looking good for Newcastle for top 4. But it is still very tight there. It's still very tight. Obviously, Man United are now in deep problems with 4 injuries coming in a very short period of time, which could affect them down the stretch.
So it's looking like both centre backs could be done for the year now.
Yep.
Yeah.
But they got Maguire.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, can we just reference last night's own goal? Because I love insulting Harry Maguire. Who doesn't love having a dig at Harry Maguire? But that was the most unlucky own goal.
It was unlucky, but it's still a no-go.
If he had a normal-sized forehead, it would have been all right. But because he's got such a huge forehead, it's literally ricocheted.
Yeah,
I genuinely felt bad for him.
Oh,
I didn't. He plays for United. I will never feel sorry for any of those players.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry, but no.
But yeah, I mean, look. So the table looks interesting when you consider that Man United are now going to be potentially down, 2 centre backs. Their most potent player up front in Marcus Rashford, and I don't know how serious the injury to.
I thought the Rashford one isn't that serious, and he'll be back in a couple of games.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they said 3 to 4 games for fitness.
What about Bruno Fernandes? What's that?
He's just suspended. He is for the next game, so they brought him off early.
All right.
Made
Okay. Cool.
absolutely no sense to me. But
Yeah.
United's biggest threat, though. I mean, obviously Andy's not here, so I'm just going to be very outright when I say it. The biggest threat to United getting fourth is Brighton, because it ain't Spurs. So
interesting. Yeah, because obviously with their 2 games in hand on Tottenham, a game in hand. I mean, they're still going to be a way behind, aren't they? That, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
49, 52. 52 if they win their 2 games that they're due to be playing to get to 30 games. Of course, Newcastle and Man United are still on 29 games. So, you know, they have got a bit of a gap, got some wiggle room, so to speak.
Obviously, at the moment, I mean, I'm normally quite sympathetic towards Tottenham, just to, don't know why, but ever since they've been linked with Company, I kind of want them to fall out of all European places. So I don't want Daniel Levy to ruin another good manager's career.
Yeah. Anyway, so I'll move on with the fixtures. Fulham against West Ham. Nothing really much saying there. West Ham, obviously, that helped their fight against relegation. Fulham seem to be quite comfortable mid-table now. Leicester, Bournemouth, obviously a big 6-pointer for the relegation battle, which Bournemouth won, took themselves into a much healthier position than they started the morning off at. And then Wolves winning at home 1-0 against Chelsea and their multi-millionaire players.
That's nothing new. That's nothing new with the way Chelsea are playing.
You know, the fact that Chelsea can't score a goal, just it's unbelievable.
You'd have thought all that money that they would have spent, they would have got a couple of number 9s, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's that really good number 9, actually. It's at Inter at the moment. What's his name? Belgium lad. His name escapes me.
Lukaku?
Is it Lukaku? God, he looks like he'd be a snip for Chelsea. Yeah, it'd fill a problem position for them.
One sec. Todd. There's this player called Lukaku. He might be able to help you out, mate. Here you go. I've just let Todd know. Todd knows now. He knows about it. He's on the radar.
I mean, I just, you know, what can we say? I mean, the rationale for the way Chelsea have approached 2 transfer windows consecutively.
But that's
short of.
Yeah, but that's Todd Bowley.
In all honesty,
Todd Bowley doesn't understand it.
I thought Arsenal did badly in the 2 transfer windows. Well, the January transfer window. I thought that the summer transfer window was okay, but I thought that the January transfer window was a bit hazardous.
Yeah, but Chelsea hasn't actually done bad with the players that they bought. They just don't know why they bought them or how to put them in the team. Yeah? And that's their problem. I mean, Todd Bowley just thought, I've got a whole load of money. I'm going to buy a whole load of players. It's going to make the team stronger. But he hasn't realised that he's not going to be able to get these players in the current team at this moment in time, which means he's wasted that money on those players, buying those players.
So anybody give Chelsea a chance of a comeback against Real Madrid next week?
No.
All right.
Do you know what? And that is the only way I can put it.
You know what? No, I think they have a chance.
You really do?
Because Real Madrid, even though Real Madrid beat, well, do you know what? I wasn't impressed
did Vinicius get a severe injury whilst he was walking onto the team bus?
No, seriously. When you look at that game, right? Chelsea actually looked quite decent, yeah. But the lack of someone who can score, that is their problem. And Real Madrid didn't look that great in that game. So, you know, if both teams play the same way, you never know. You never know.
Oh, nil. They might start scoring. What happened to my team and your team in last season's Champions League when Real Madrid didn't look like they were too good?
Hold on. You look, the rounds before this round, yeah, what Real Madrid did to us, right?
Don't think about it, mate. Don't think about it.
I'm not saying anything about Real Madrid and the way they look, because let's face it, it's going to be us versus Real Madrid in the semi-final. I know how that bloody ends. I'm not looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think you guys are looking super good this year. So I'm expecting you to blow Real Madrid away this year.
The thing is, we've now got a striker, so we might take a 2-goal lead at some point.
Yeah, for sure. So let me finish off. So we talked about Chelsea. Man City, I mean, imperious against Southampton. I was just so impressed by yourselves. I mean, is there anything you want to say additional, Drew, about that game?
I think.
Come on, you guys were playing the team at the bottom.
Oh my God! When Bournemouth were at the bottom and you put 9 past them, it was like a Champions League final for you.
Because it was.
You
Look at our season. Look at our season.
Remember,
Yeah,
you won a
look at our
quadruple
season,
last
yeah?
year in February.
No. We weren't saying that. That was everybody else was saying that because we were still in the competitions. Yeah.
Right.
There you go, Drew. I've come to brighten up your session there. Have a read of that. In his debut Premier League season, Erling Haaland has set the following records: most goals in a season across all competitions by a Premier League player, fewest games needed to score 4 Premier League hat-tricks, fewest games needed to score 20 and 30 Premier League goals. What more can we say about this kid?
Someone
He's
needs to
all
break
right,
his
isn't
leg.
he? I mean,
No, he's a brilliant player. He's a
I
brilliant
remember
player.
at the season when I said that Alvarez might have a better first season. Turns out I was wrong.
Do you know what? No, the thing is with Haaland, he's that typical striker who's always in the right place at the right time, and he just manages to do it all season. And the thing is, nobody can stop him. That's the worst thing about it. Nobody's been able to stop him to get into that right position.
He's 6'5". He runs 100 meters in 11 seconds flat. He
but
is literally built like an oak tree.
Yeah, but you build, you build a defense, or the defenders should be thinking about this guy. They've seen what he's been doing all season. Yeah, put 2 players on him, man. Break his legs. Do something.
Break his leg.
Hate to say it, Bayern Munich tried that, and it worked until it didn't.
The person down there, it's not an Arsenal 101. It's a Liverpool
No, but seriously. The way Haaland plays, right, to keep him out the game, you have to have 2 defenders on him. You have to have 2 defenders on him, and no one's doing that. Yeah.
Well, it's because you can't use 2 defenders to take a player out of the game against City.
No. I understand that, but what I'm saying is that's how you stop him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's how you stop him. You put 2 players on him.
Yeah, but right? You got, saying put 2 players is funny because I look at Bukayo Saka. Every time he gets the ball, guaranteed 2, 3, and sometimes 4 players come to tackle him because they know how dangerous he is.
The reason why
he's going to get an assist.
The reason why I said that is because you got to look at Michael Owen. Yeah, who was a manager that sussed him out? Ferguson put 2 players on him that messed him up.
Let's be honest. Michael Owen was just a poacher.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is
he didn't do anything else other than
but that's how Fergie kept him out of the game whenever we played them. Yeah, he put 2 players on him.
The thing is, it's easier to do that with a player whose sole purpose in the game is just score goals. But if your purpose in the game is like,
but that's what Haaland is though. He is a poacher. He's a great poacher in the right place at the right time. Look at as you said. Look at the records that he's set.
Yeah. You're right.
That's what he's done, and that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying is like we've come this far in the season, and still no manager has sussed out how to stop this guy.
The thing, it's been 4 years now, and no one has sussed it out.
Yeah, which is crazy, and that's what I don't get. That's crazy.
He's been doing it since he went to Salzburg.
But let's be honest, guys. I mean, nobody has ever sussed out Lionel Messi. No one has sussed out Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah, but those guys those guys are the best players in the world, or at one time they were the best players in the world.
Let's not go and not give credit where credit is due. Erling Haaland right now is one of the best players in the world.
Yeah, he is. But he's not as skillful as those players. Yeah, I don't think he is.
He doesn't need to be.
He's not as skillful as Mbappe, but I'd rather have Haaland.
Right place and put it in the net.
Yeah, but that's the difference between Messi and Ronaldo, right? Is that all round that they are better players. But this guy happens to get in the right position every game, and nobody stops him.
And the same can be said of Robert Lewandowski. The same can be said of Karim Benzema. And I can go on and on and on.
Do you know what comparison I'd actually make for Haaland? And I can't believe about making this comparison. He is a prime, healthy Fernando Torres with an extra foot of height. Nearly. That's the only player I could liken him to. Great in the air, great with his feet, great with both on both sides.
This is the Torres before he went to Chelsea, right?
Yeah, Torres before the injury set in.
Yeah.
That Torres was horrific to play against for any centre-back. If he'd had the same size as Haaland, Liverpool would have won a Premiership a long, long time ago.
Yep. Yep.
So, let's move on to Sunday fixtures. Started off the day with Leeds United.
Do you know?
Absolutely.
Hodgson, I can't believe that Hodgson managed to get these guys to score 5 goals. It makes you kind of question, what was Vieira actually doing?
I just think it must have been the players just weren't playing for Vieira.
Yeah, that's what I think as well.
I mean, did he offend one by taking the piss out of their hairdo? I mean, I don't know.
But he can't take the mick. He's got no hair to take the mick to do that to anybody.
Well, that really. And he also looks like the villain from Poddington Peas. But I genuinely love Patrick Vieira. I do think he's a good manager, but it turns out Roy Hodgson's obviously just better.
Yeah, it's that's kind of weird, isn't it? Hodgson being brought out of retirement, and look at the results he's getting.
Yeah. I mean, I had to laugh at it because obviously behind Man United and Liverpool, the team I dislike the most in the league is Leeds.
Hold on one sec. I'm just on the phone. Todd, I found a new manager for you.
It's all right. He's only a caretaker. We don't have to pay Compo next year.
Tony, you're on mute.
Thank you. Sorry about that. So, guys, who was your standout player in that game?
Roy Hodgson.
No, that's a fair shout. You give him a 10 out of 10, yeah?
I just can't see how Hodgson at age 172 still A, has the motivation to turn up, and B, can still command the respect of every player in a dressing room.
And do you know? I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I've never rated him as a great manager. Yeah, but
I've always rated him at club level, mostly because when he went to Italy and he took over at Inter Milan, he turned Inter Milan from a mid-table team to top 2 within a season and convinced Ronaldo to go and sign for Inter Milan.
When he came to LFC, we didn't have the manager that you see now. That's what I would have liked to see when he was.
Yeah, but you also had Andy bloody Carroll leading the line, so let's not dwell on that.
Yeah. Carroll was. Well, we got a lot of money and we bought him, and I don't know. I'm still trying to work out why.
It's all right. So, I mean, we bought Robinho.
Let's just forget that because my head's starting to hurt me now.
Hey, listen, you not only did you have Andy Carroll, did you not have Peter Crouch as well?
Yeah, but Peter Crouch did the robot, man. He did the robot, man. Whenever he scored, he did the robot. What did Carroll do? Nothing.
Fell over and spent 6 months getting treated.
Exactly. Yeah. At least Peter Crouch entertained you when he scored the goal.
I think we also have to remember at one point in Peter Crouch's career, he was 9 goals in 11 games at international level.
No. Peter Crouch wasn't a bad striker. He was not.
He genuinely wasn't. He was just gangly.
Andy Carroll was great when he was at Newcastle.
Yeah, exactly.
No, when he was at Newcastle.
Yeah, great hair.
After that, he wasn't that great.
At some point in his career, he was a decent striker.
That was before.
People
That was
looked
before
at
he
him
got to
as
Liverpool.
a decent plan B. You know, in the same way people look at Ivan Toney and say, you know, look, good big man.
Yeah, but Ivan Toney's actually not
we didn't see
completely
that form.
useless.
When he came to LFC, we didn't see that great form he was at
No,
Newcastle.
obviously not. Obviously not.
See?
Anyway,
Well, that's
I
because
wanted
you
to
like to
ask
pass
you-
the ball on the ground out at Liverpool.
I wanted to ask you guys about a player on Sunday for Crystal Palace because his name's come up on a couple of rumor boards for a move from Palace, and that's Michael Elise.
Yeah,
What's your thoughts, gents?
potential. So much potential.
I think he's third in the league with assists, if I'm not mistaken.
But listen, under the right manager and the right team, he can be a great player. Yeah, he can be a great player. He has so much potential. He's looking good. I mean, to be able to look that good at Palace, especially with the way they've been playing under Vieira, right? You put him in the right hands, man. Put him in the right team in the right hands, right? And they will be talking about him.
I think him and Eze both a hot property in the league, quite frankly. So when talk about Palace, when he's fit, everyone obviously talks about Zaha. I think Elise's probably 2 steps ahead of where Zaha was at this stage of his career.
I'm gonna be a little controversial now, right? I don't rate Zaha at all.
I think he's a good player. Do I think he's any more than just a good player? No.
Sometimes he doesn't even look good.
So basically,
he gets lost in the game. Elise though, is always involved.
Exactly.
I mean, I want to make some comparison because, you know, we talk about ballers like Armand Traore at Wolves, and we talk about Alan St-Maximin at Newcastle, but Michael Elise's assist numbers are only bettered by Trossard, Saka, and De Bruyne. Literally.
Yeah.
And you kind of go, well, hang on a second. He's flying under the radar here. Now, what he doesn't give you is goals because he's only on 2 goals this season. But in what has been a patchy Crystal Palace team, he's clearly doing something.
Yeah, well, he's not going to get the goals because Palace aren't knocking in the goals. Yeah,
they don't have a striker.
Exactly. So that form, obviously, because he's part of that team, that form rubs off on him anyway. Which is what I'm saying is, you put him in the right team with the right manager, he is going to be making a whole load of noise.
So we'll be interested to see what if anyone comes in for him this summer. So
there will be a team that's going to come in for him. Chelsea.
Okay.
I hate to admit it, but the team I think could actually benefit from him is actually Liverpool. And I think it hasn't be a good move for him.
What?
Yeah, I think it'd be a better move for him than it would be for us at this moment in time.
Liverpool,
yes, because Diogo Jota has been so fit and healthy for the past 18 months.
No, but we got a million strikers.
Yeah, Luis Diaz is still to make a.
He's on his way back. He's on his way.
That's
back.
fair, but you've also got Darwin Núñez, who I might want to remind you looks really, really, really good until he gets the ball.
That's harsh.
No. Núñez is one of those players who's, as far as I'm concerned, he's a slow burner. He will do good, but he's not going to do good in the first season.
That's what you say about a girl on a really bad first date. No, it's a slow burner, man. It's a slow burner.
No. If I thought about that for a girl on the first date, there is no second date. There is no second date. Simple. Yeah.
But if it's a slow burner on the first date, you got to go for the second date because you got to think what mysteries lie beneath.
No. Not interested. If I'm not hooked by that worm, it's not happening. There's no second date. Simple.
I wouldn't be married, mate, if I went by that approach.
Exactly. I think there's a lot of men who wouldn't be with their partners if they didn't give them a second chance. I think it works both ways, though. I think girls.
No, it definitely works both ways. I wasn't cleaning out a tool on my first dates.
Yeah,
And
there's
she
always
will
gotta
tell
be a
everybody
second
she meets
chance.
that.
There's always got to be a second chance, Neil. Anyway, boys, let's move on to the biggest game of the weekend, which of course was the big top of the table clash between Arsenal and Liverpool.
We're not
How
top.
can we call this a top of the table clash of a team in mid-table?
Well, the team at the top were clashing against another team who were used to be at the top. So it's a top of the table clash.
Wait, so when we put 7 past Burnley like last season when they were in the bottom 3, was that a top of the table clash because we were top?
You're talking
Not
about
really.
Burnley. You're talking about Burnley.
Yeah, exactly.
You're a
Talking about
mid-table team now, Nick.
this season. It's fine. It's fine. This season we're a mid-table team, and I get that. I get that. Yeah,
Okay.
there are haters. I mean, even if we're playing where we are, we still got the haters, man. We still got the haters, and that's fine. You
It's
know.
all right. You're just catching up with Spurs now.
So
Oh.
as the headline says, one of the best draws you might see all season. Liverpool versus Arsenal delivered. So, Drew, over to you. What did you think of the game?
Right, it was a very exciting game. High on entertainment. I don't think Arsenal's standards that they've set for themselves throughout most of the season were on show. And I think Liverpool raised their game quite a bit, which is why the game was so entertaining. But I don't think the quality of the game was quite as good as what certain media outlets have made it out to be. Mostly because I don't think Arsenal were as good as what they have been the past few months.
Arsenal played well until we took the game over.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is what kind of gets me about Liverpool this season. Against the top teams, we can play well. We just don't, we only play as good as the team in front of us. And that's the sad thing about it. So if we're playing a top team who are on form, we will raise our game. But if we play a mid-table team or a team in the bottom half, we don't play that well. And those are the games that we should be winning. Because if you look at the table, look at we've lost 9 games. 9 games this season. And you've got to look at who we lost those games to. How many of them are in the top 7, top 6? United. And that's the sad thing about our season. We've just not delivered against the teams we should be delivering against. If anything, you would have said United, City, Arsenal, those teams are on form. There's no way we should have got any results out of any of those games. But we do, and we do it season in, season out. Liverpool's biggest problem last season and the season before wasn't the losses, it was the draws. This season, we've lost more games than we've actually drawn. And that's where we're suffering.
I don't think your indecisive transfer strategy coming up to the summer's helping you much either right now.
Forget the transfer. Forget the transfer at the moment. Too many rumours flying around and too many people taking those rumours for granted, thinking that that's what they're going to do.
Well, you ain't going in for Bellingham, let's be honest.
But who said we were going in for Bellingham in the first place?
Your man.
I don't think there's any top team who wants to be a top team that's not going after Bellingham.
It was official. It was official that
they made it official that they weren't going for him. But what you've got to look at, right?
Today, but before he was Liverpool were the leading team for Bellingham before today.
They were the leading team because you had players speaking to Bellingham. Bellingham wanted to come to Liverpool, but what you've got to look at is it's not what the players want or what the manager wants. It's what the owners actually do. Yeah. And the way they operate, and they've always operated, is you bring a player in or you bring a player up through the ranks, right? You sell them to make your cash and use that cash to buy your big time players. And that's always been their plan. Yeah. Then they're not going to do a Todd Bowley and go, oh, there's like 600 million, go buy knock yourself out with the players that you want. They're never going to do that. They're always going to say, for you to get a player, sell a player, and then we'll talk. So Bellingham, we knew Bellingham, right, is going to be around about 100 million player. Who have Liverpool got to sell to make that money?
Well, I wouldn't worry too much. You've got Harvey Elliott. You're good.
Yeah. Harvey Elliott's going to make us loads of money.
hang on. Liverpool have got a lot of players that they could possibly get rid of.
What, to make 100
you've
million?
got decent.
To make 100 million?
Yeah,
in this current market, yes.
Who is worth a lot of money at Liverpool?
I would say Jota's a £50 million player on the current market.
But they're not looking.
He is not a £50 million player, but in the current market, he is.
They're not going to sell him. The players that are looking at selling, the players like Naby Keita.
So you're not going to sell a player who, even when fit, doesn't play anymore.
I'm about to shock you. I think you could do worse than sell Mo Salah right now.
Do you know?
I think he's on that time. Listen, in the window now.
That doesn't shock. That doesn't shock me because I've already said that to a few guys. I said, look, what you got to look at, you got to look at his age.
Yeah.
You got to look at if you want to get money, we have to get a shot of him now.
Now.
We can't wait till next season or the season after to get a shot of him, or wait for his contract to run out. Yeah. But he's one player who will get us a lot of money. But then look at Mane. Mane did not go for a lot of money. That's
because he let his contract go down, right?
Exactly. So
and that's what I'm saying. To me, I look straight away and I think, well, you know what? If we could get decent money for Salah right now, bearing in mind the crop of strikers you've currently got, and there are loads of strikers in the market. There are a plethora of strikers who you could go out in the market across Europe and buy, who would do you a good job where Salah was, including some of those that you've got at the moment. And I go,
Bellingham would have been leading the midfield, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Right. So you've got to look at which players that you need to get rid of. You're not looking at strikers, realistically. You're looking at midfielders. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who are we going to get a lot of money for Milner?
No.
Hell no. Hendo.
Well, Fabinho, who's been woefully out of form for a year now.
Yeah. Jones. Fabinho. We're not good. We will struggle to make 100 million to buy that one player.
Fabinho, you're looking probably 40 to 50 million for him. Jones, 20 to 25 based on age. Same with Harvey Elliott.
They're not going to get rid of Fabinho because he's our best defensive midfielder.
But he's been useless for a whole season now.
The whole team's been useless for the whole season now.
I know, but Fabinho has been glaringly worse than everyone else in your central midfield.
No,
I hate to say it, Fabinho has been awful.
Listen, so has Thiago. Thiago hasn't been great, but he's one of our better midfielders. Yeah.
To be fair, I forgot you actually had Thiago because I hadn't seen him this year.
Exactly. Hendo should not be wearing that shirt. Milner should not be wearing that shirt. Do you know? I want to see Milner go into the back room and help with his experience, help the players coming up and coming.
Not gonna lie, Neil, that sounded a little bit dodgy.
Yes, say no more. Say no
more. Neil, here's another one. Here's another one. Dare I say this? Would it be wise to get rid of Trent Alexander while you could get decent money for him?
No, it wouldn't be wise. No, it wouldn't be wise. It would not be wise. Yeah. No. Trent still. The thing is, you're talking about some of the players that are still very useful. All right, the whole team's had a bad season, which is clear by our position, yeah. But Trent is one of the few players that, if we get rid of him, who's going to do his job? And I'm not talking about defensive.
What job does he do, though? What job does he do?
Set pieces. When you're running down a wing, who else is going to do that job?
Okay, but
as good as he can.
What's his position supposed to be? He's supposed to be a right back, isn't he?
Yeah, but we look. I'll say week in, week out. He's crap at defense. He should never be in defense. He just can't do it.
He's not technically good enough to be a midfielder. Is the problem?
Do you know? I kind of disagree. You look at the majority of times when you watch him, he's running from the midfield. He's never in defence. So where's he running from?
If he was good enough to be a midfielder, you have no midfield right now. Would he be starting in midfield more often?
Do you know? If I had my way, I'd find a proper defensive right back and then move Trent into midfield. I mean, you look at the midfield players that we've got at the moment.
This is what I'm saying, though. I don't think Trent has the mentality to play as a midfielder.
He hasn't got the mentality to play as a defender.
Well, no, because he can't defend. But
exactly.
Look at Cafu, and we all forgave Cafu for that because Cafu was also the best right back in the world without ever defending.
But you got to look at what Trent actually does for Liverpool. You've got to look at the assists that he's got season in, season out. You've got to look at his set pieces. Yeah, you
Right.
got to look at his free kicks. Yeah, the only thing
So
he can't
basically,
do,
you want
the
him
only
as a
thing he
special
can't do is
teams player.
defend. No, I'm just saying, the only thing he can't do is defend.
Right, gentlemen, I'm going to move the argument on as we are now through the first hour of the show.
Yeah.
I only want to go for a maximum of another 25 minutes. So literally on the back of our discussion about that game and your views on Trent and all the other players that need to be moved around at Liverpool,
It was a great game. We should have won that one.
Pointing out that, of course, Liverpool this season at Anfield have thrashed United 7-0, have beat Man City 1-0, and Arsenal went there and got a draw. So all things being equal, Fortress Anfield was almost not quite so, up to about 7 minutes left before the equaliser. Albeit, I must admit, Liverpool did look capable of scoring several times during the second half.
If you look at the stats, we had better stats.
Yeah,
Final
I know you
30
guys to look
seconds.
at it, and we had better. We had more chances as well, and
I
more
get
on
it.
target.
I
We
get
just
it. As I said,
just
that's
didn't
why I
finish
call
it.
it Fortress.
Yeah.
Fortress Anfield, a 2-2 draw actually is not a bad result for Arsenal, especially in light of the fact that we've been there how many years on the trot and just been on the end of a hiding. So I move on. So that completes our review of last week's fixtures. Obviously, we've seen the table a few times since then.
You're trying to depress me now, aren't you?
6-point gap between Arsenal and Man City, with Man City and having a game in hand, which could take it down to 3 points. And then, of course, we'll then have that huge 3-pointer between the two teams.
You just
at
need
the
to
end of
draw.
the month.
You guys just need to draw that game.
Just need a draw, but obviously
Yeah.
we still need to win the other games, and we've got a couple of difficult games in amongst those, including Brighton and Newcastle.
Arsenal as well, aren't you?
Table. Sorry?
Away to Newcastle as well, aren't you?
Away to Newcastle, exactly.
Yeah.
But as we only have a game a week, I kind of feel kind of confident that we could go there and cause a problem when we've got our full team, singing and dancing. Hopefully, get no injuries before we go to those grounds. Bottom of the table, it's literally a pick 'em about who's going to go down right now. We've had again a little bit of a conflab on that situation. Quickly, Neil and Drew, who are you picking to go down?
Oh, let me go first.
Yeah.
Southampton, Everton, and Forest.
Drew?
Do you know what? I think a lot depends on tomorrow's result between City and Leicester. If Leicester are to stay up, they need to nick a point at City against City tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah, I genuinely think so, because otherwise they're going to get hammered. They don't need their confidence to be shook anymore. I think Leicester go down if they get walloped tomorrow by City.
Wow.
Whoa.
Wow. Okay, so you've got
I think the bottom three
Leicester,
stays the same then.
So who've you got going down?
The bottom three is at the moment if Leicester lose tomorrow.
Okay.
If Leicester get anything out of the game tomorrow, Leeds fall into the relegation zone.
So as I said, I kind of think Leicester have got something about them that will get them out of trouble. I'm going to go with Southampton, Forest, and Everton.
Oh.
So we move on. We talked about that. So that just leaves us the last business, which is to review the fixtures coming up this week, which are as follows, gentlemen.
Oh,
if you would be so
blurry,
kind.
Man.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. No, it's all right. It's cool.
So yeah, we'll go around the houses. We'll start with Drew, then Neil, and then myself. Drew, what's your prediction on Aston Villa versus Newcastle?
This is where Emery's great run ends. Newcastle win 3-1.
Wow. Okay, Neil?
I give it 2-1, Newcastle.
Okay, I am actually going to go for a 2-2 draw.
Oh. I hope you're right.
Okay. Drew, Chelsea at home to Brighton.
4-1 Brighton.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah,
Wow.
at the bridge. They're going there. They will score 4.
I mean,
Right,
Chelsea played midweek as well, so they're going to be all over the shop as well. Neil, what's your prediction?
Chelsea need a win. They need a win
They
in the
played
league.
midweek, bro.
Yeah, I know, but Fat Frank, man, he doesn't know what he's doing. I think he'll play a pretty strong team, stronger than he needs to. Do you know what? I think this, and I'm going to be controversial here. I think this is going to be a 1-1 draw. I think Chelsea are going to score a goal.
Do you know what, though? Danny Welbeck, trust me, hat-trick tomorrow. Telling you now, if there is any team that's making Danny Welbeck look good, it's Chelsea.
Chelsea, yeah. No, I think that'll be 1-1 draw. Chelsea will actually break that duck and score a goal.
Wow. So since little technical issue. Right. So my prediction on that game is Brighton 2, Chelsea 0. I think they failed to score again. And everyone's going to be shouting Frank out.
keep that 100% record going, right?
Wait, Tony, is this why you were shocked about my prediction? Because I have Chelsea down as scoring.
Yeah.
You had Chelsea down as winning.
So, Drew, Everton at home to Fulham.
0-0.
Neil?
1-0 Fulham.
I'm joining you on that one, Neil. I go 1-0 Fulham. Drew, Southampton at home to Crystal Palace.
Palace 2-0.
Neil?
3-1 Palace.
I'm going to go... See, Palace are one of these teams that they do really weirdly at the moment. I'm getting joined by Andy in the house. Well, welcome, Andy.
Hey.
You've had a tennis tournament this evening, I understand.
We've had a tennis match. It was our last Winter League match of the season. Yeah.
Nice one. Thank you very much for joining us.
I'm sorry, guys. It was literally I wasn't supposed to be playing, but somebody dropped out an hour before kickoff, and I was the only one that could get there in time.
No worries. So before we get, oh, sorry, Drew. What did you say?
With tennis, it's a toss-off.
What did you say?
My puerile mind.
Yeah, I've just realised I'm wearing red. I need to get rid of that now. Hang on.
And Andy is, of course, wearing the famous red RR tracksuit, which is the football team both Andy and myself play together on. Where Andy is a legend in the team. He's absolutely he's got to knock himself off.
He's pressed the wrong button on the phone, hasn't he?
Yeah,
picking up the phone and then just cut himself off. He'll be back.
Yeah, just give him a sec.
Do we get to lay into Spurs before he gets back?
Oh, here he is again. Here he is.
I'm back wearing more suitable attire.
Okay, right. So we in your absence, we had our proverbial hack at what was an absolutely atrocious refereeing performance in the Tottenham game. I mean, have you got anything you want to talk about that?
All I can say is it's happened to us many times, but fair play. I feel if I was a Brighton fan, I would feel very, very aggrieved last weekend. They were very, let's say they were very, very unfortunate. I mean, I do believe, I don't agree with the handball rules. I don't believe myself, the way I look at football, I don't believe either of their goals should have been disallowed for handball. However, under the new rules, if it touches your hand, it does get disallowed. So I do believe the 2 goals under the current rules were correctly ruled out because they did both hit the person's arm. But I don't agree with that particular rule. So if I was one of their fans, I would be a bit annoyed. But certainly they should have had definitely 1 penalty, arguably 2. And to not get either of them, particularly when they were looked at by VAR, that seems to me to be quite bizarre, really. But then we've had the same argument when Spurs drew at Southampton. Southampton got a last-minute penalty, which should never have been a penalty. So these things do kind of even themselves out. But I feel sorry for Brighton. They were the Brighton were the better team last weekend, no question.
For sure. So we've touched on a couple of subjects, which I'm just going to roll through quickly. Give me your opinion on. I'm going to show you two pictures and give me your combined opinion on both together. So there's this picture and there's this picture.
Well, have you seen the one where Sane's punching? Sane's punching Sane. Oh, you put it up earlier.
Yeah, I put it up earlier.
Yeah. No, that was quite funny. I think it was me that shared the link to the group the other night that when it happened, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was. I mean, there's also Mane's not happy there, is he? Clearly. I don't know what to say. I'm trying to work out what the other one. Was that the Robertson? I haven't seen that. For weirdly, because if it was Easter Sunday and I was with family, I haven't seen the Liverpool Arsenal game, so I haven't seen that incident.
It was a blatant clothesline by the assistant ref.
Okay, I've heard about it. He elbowed Robertson or something.
Yeah,
accidentally.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about accidentally, but it was blatant, mate.
It couldn't have happened to a nicer person.
And the other thing that Drew made good comment was that Robertson being a Scot should be totally ashamed of his reaction, because that to Scots people was nothing less than a mole.
Yeah. Can you imagine if that was Robert Carlyle?
A bit like Kane and Decore, yeah.
Yeah, Robert Carlyle in a train spotting. He would have turned. That was brilliant. Yes.
Yeah, no.
Give us your feedback on this one quickly, Andy.
Well, Chelsea. I mean, when I saw the lineups the other night, if you'd been away from football for a year or two and walked in and saw Chelsea's team with Koulibaly, Silva, and Fofana at the back, Kovacic, Fernandes, and Kante in midfield, and say Felix with Sterling up front, and Chilwell and James as fullbacks, I was looking at them thinking, this is a really good team. But the problem they've got is they haven't got a striker, not someone that's going to put the ball in the back of it. In the old days, they had Drogba, who you could always rely on to score in a big game. But Chelsea, if Chelsea add a top-class centre forward to that team, they will be mustard next season. Honestly, they could, and get a decent manager that knows how.
Christian Nkunku.
Well, Fat Frank's a decent manager. He's good.
Frank's a decent manager.
You're a Liverpool fan.
Okay. Andy, is there anything else you want to comment on from last week?
I think it's probably going back to 2 weeks now, really. But the whole managerial merry-go-round is just nonsense. I don't understand Spurs. I mean, to be honest, I think Conte had to go, and he clearly didn't want to stay. So that was that. So I think he had to go. But at the same time, to sort of get rid of him now and not have another manager to come in is a strange one. But I think the truth is Spurs want someone that isn't prepared to commit right now. Because all the top
you could have had Hodgson.
Sorry?
You could have had Hodgson. He was happy to come out of retirement.
Thanks for that, Les. I think the truth is Spurs clearly want someone that isn't prepared to commit right now. that they're waiting to see whether or not Spurs qualify for the Champions League. They're waiting to see what's happening with Harry Kane. Because if Harry Kane leaves, Tottenham are mid-table. Simple as that.
Wow. Really that bad a fall from grace? I mean, I know Liverpool and Chelsea have had the same sort of fall from grace this season.
Yeah. Look at Chelsea. Chelsea have got a better squad than Tottenham have got. What they haven't got is Harry Kane and when on fire, Heung-min Son. Now he hasn't been on fire this season, but last season you got Kane and Son. Kane and Son scored 70 goals between them since the beginning of last season. They're by far and away the top scorers in the Premier League since the beginning of last season. 40 for Kane, 30%.
Cool.
And so basically that's what keeps Spurs where they are. Without that, where are Spurs? I don't know. Bentancur's been a big miss for Spurs. We've not got a midfield.
And Kulusevski was out for a little while as well, wasn't he?
And we've had Romero out, but Bentancur's the one because Bentancur drives the midfield. Bentancur drives that midfield. And the double whammy is that Basuma has been injured as well. Just as Basuma was beginning to find some form after an innocuous start, he got injured as well. So we've not only had Bentancur, but his first choice replacement, Basuma, hasn't been available either.
Cool.
Højbjerg and Skip are running 100 miles every game, but they're not really good on the ball. And that's a big problem for Tottenham.
All right, pal, that's caught us up. We shall now finish the show. We're just going through the fixtures. We've done a few already without you, so I'll get you to catch up if I can. What's your prediction, Andy, for Aston Villa Newcastle?
I'm kind of blinded by what I want rather than what I really think. I'm hoping for a Villa win, obviously. So I'll go for 2-1 Villa.
So I went for a 2-2 Aston Villa draw, which I shouldn't do really because Newcastle very rarely let 2 goals in, if any at all. They're so good defensively. So for them to score 2 goals, but they are at home. They are obviously 6th or 7th in the table, wherever it is.
6th now.
So it's going to be a tough game for Newcastle. It is a very good game on paper. The 2 boys have gone for Newcastle wins, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, the reality says that Newcastle will probably get at least a point, I guess. But I'm hoping for a Villa win. Yeah.
Okay. Chelsea against Brighton, Andy. What's your prediction there?
I think Chelsea might have half a mind on the second leg against Real Madrid next week. I think Brighton. I could see that being 1-1, or possibly even a Brighton. But I'll go 1-1.
Okay.
That's what I said.
Everton, Fulham, Andy.
This is going to go with my 4-1 Brighton.
I think Everton will win this one. Again, I think I might go 2-1 again.
Okay, cool. You've caught up with us now. So we're on to Southampton, Crystal Palace. We'll start off with Drew. What's your prediction for Southampton, Crystal Palace, Drew?
2-0 Palace.
2-0 Palace. Neil?
1-0 Palace.
Andy?
1-1.
1-1. I am going to go 2-0 to Palace.
Okay.
Then we get the Tottenham Hotspur at home to Bournemouth. Drew,
depends on who's refereeing that game, right?
Right. Now, Tottenham should win, but for all that is holy and for the prevention of Vincent Kompany making a huge career mistake, I want a Bournemouth win, 1-0.
Whoa. I say 2-1 Spurs.
Andy?
The problem is at the moment, it's really difficult to predict what Tottenham are going to do. However, I have looked. The last 10 league games, we've won 6, drawn 2 and lost 2. Our actual league form, our league performances have been dreadful, but the actual points on the board has been all right. But it's it's not good to watch. And no doubt Bournemouth will probably have more of the ball than we will tomorrow. It's nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. But yeah, because we've got the forward line, I'm going to back us to say win 3-0, 3-1.
Okay, that was pretty much in line what I was thinking. I'm thinking 3-0 to Tottenham in that game tomorrow. Okay, Drew, Wolverhampton against Brentford.
2-2.
2-2.
Really?
Interesting. Neil?
2-1 Brentford.
Okay. Andy?
I think 1-0 Wolves.
I'm going to join Neil on a 2-1 to Brentford. Drew, Man City at home to Leicester.
Right, I've given my opinion on if Leicester are going to stay up. Leicester need
Let's
to
just talk
start
about
getting
how many
points.
Haaland scores, shall we? Just this move,
All right. So I've already said Leicester need to get a point out of tomorrow if they want to start turning their season around. It's not going to happen. 7-1 City.
Okay.
I'm being
you had a
generous by
funny
giving
way of
Leicester a
getting to
goal.
that result. Neil?
Right. Well, if you look at the time, right, and you move that colon to the other side of the 3, that's what the score is going to be. No, seriously. I think it's going to be 4-0 City.
Okay. Andy?
I've got a feeling again that City are going to they'll win, but it'll be a canter. I suspect they'll get a couple of goals up early and then be happy just to relax for the second leg for Bayern. So I suspect, I don't know, 2 or 3. It could 2-3-0.
That's
3-0.
23-0. 23-0, Andy predicted.
3-0.
23-0. We'll take that. Okay, I'm going to suggest that Man City will win this at a canter 3-0. So then we move on to Sunday. West Ham at home to Arsenal. West Ham, of course, will be, I consider, thinking about their Thursday second leg Europa Conference League game.
No, but they got to take this game seriously because Moyes will be gone. I reckon he'll be gone.
Drew?
I don't want David Moyes to get fired. I also don't want Arsenal to win the Premier League. So I can see it being a 1-1 draw, to be honest.
You're hoping.
Neil?
Oh, no, if I was going for the hopeful answer, 2-1 West Ham, but...
Okay, for me, it's going to be 2-1 Arsenal.
Andy?
You turncoat.
I'm trying really hard to find any way that I can find West Ham getting something out of this game, but I'm really struggling to see anything other than an Arsenal win.
Yeah.
But just because it's Arsenal, I'm going to say 1-1.
Okay. And I'm going to go 3-0 to Arsenal. So we move on to Nottingham Forest against Manchester United. Drew?
Right, so United have no defenders.
But they have a midweek game against Seville to consider.
Yeah, no defenders, midweek game. They're going to be tired after the game the other night. Do you know what? I think 1-0 Forest.
Wow.
I'm joining Drew on that. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Okay, Neil? You're muted, Neil. You're muted.
Isn't it nice?
I don't know how that happened.
Isn't it nice not being at Hill Nil?
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, gents. Yeah. No, seriously, I'd be glad. I don't really want to say this, but I see United winning 2-0.
Bearing in mind their midweek game and their reduced numbers of centre halves, I also going to join Drew and Andy on a 1-0 to Nottingham Forest.
I hope you guys are right.
Hang on, this is the nearest we've ever come to having a unanimous piece of agreement on a football result.
Yeah.
So you know, United are going to win 4-0 now, don't you?
Yeah.
Probably.
Okay, so did I miss some fixtures out? No, so we got the Sunday fixtures. The Monday fixture sees Leeds at home to Liverpool. Drew, what's your prediction?
Oh, hang on. Liverpool got to go to Elland Road. Obviously, Liverpool have had a good result against Arsenal previously. So 2-1 Leeds.
Neil?
I almost agreed with Andy, not Andy, with Drew just then. But no, it's Liverpool 1-0.
Andy?
Mane to score.
I've heard because I work up this way. I was up in Yorkshire the other day, and I heard I was talking to some Leeds fans, and they reckon that there was when they were 1-1 at Palace at half time last week, weren't they? And then they lost 5-1 at home. I heard that there was massive bust up in the Leeds dressing room at half time. Players shouting and calling each other out or something.
Punching each other up like Mane and Sané.
If there's dissension in that Leeds ranks, that's going to bode badly for them. I can see Liverpool winning this one.
Okay. What's your prediction? 2-1. 2-1. Okay. I'm going Liverpool. Based on what you just told me about Leeds, I'm going Liverpool 2-0.
Okay.
And then we've got a game at the end of the week, which is a Friday fixture. Arsenal at home to Southampton. Drew, I know you want Southampton to win this one.
Good. No. Also, Arsenal win it 2-1.
Okay. Neil?
The same as the time.
20-0.
Yeah. No, Arsenal will win it. I say 3-1.
Okay. Andy?
I think Arsenal will win comfortably to put the pressure on City. I obviously want Southampton to win, but I can see Arsenal winning this one 4-0.
And I will join you on that one. 4-0 to the Arse at home in front
that
of that
did not
crowd.
sound that good.
Yeah, no, Southampton are woeful.
Well, it depends what angle you're coming from here, Neil.
Right, gentlemen, we have now completed our reviews of the week, and we've also talked about the upcoming weekend coming. Any last comments from yourselves, if I may?
Yeah, can I just say something? I don't think I know this is a Premier League podcast, and I don't know if you touched on it earlier before I joined, but I think props have to be given to Manchester City for what they did to Bayern the other night. I know that that's not a popular thing, but I think to me, that was one of the best performances I've ever seen by an English side in Europe. Bayern could have been level or even ahead at one point in the game, but the way City finished the game off and did the job and basically won the tie, I think. I mean, Bayern are capable of turning it round, but they aren't as good. If it was the Bayern of 3 years ago, you'd think, yeah, they could do it at home. I just don't think they've got, without Lewandowski now, I don't think they've got the firepower to beat City over there. And I think, but that performance from City was I thought was excellent. I thought it was a really good game generally.
It was a good performance, but at the same time, I thought Bayern, they just looked so scared at times as well. And that's down to the way.
But that's what City do to teams.
Yeah.
De Bruyne and Haaland and Grealish has found form, and you've got Bernardo Silva. They can just bring in and do magic, and this is what Mahrez. Mahrez is there on the bench, and these guys, Alvarez, these guys can. And Rodri, what a player he is! I mean,
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, if anyone forgets to mention Rodri, I've got no doubt in my mind Rodri is the best CDM in the world right now.
His goal was unbelievable, but you're going to get that once in a career with your swinger, basically. You know, left foot, top corner. But it was a sensational performance, and you know, I just think that City deserves some credit for what they're doing at the moment. They're literally putting 4s, 5s, 6s, 7s past everyone on this run at the moment. And
Drew,
they
how
are.
much are you paying Andy?
Sorry.
I said, Drew, how much are you paying Andy?
I said it a month and a half ago. I think City can get to the end of the season without losing a game. I think we can get to the end of the season without drawing a game. But I still think we'll lose the Premier League.
Wow.
Yeah.
Unless Newcastle turn over Arsenal or Brighton turn over Arsenal, we don't win the Premier League because it's a 6-point
you
gap.
just have to win your games, don't you? If you win your games, you'll win the league.
Yeah.
And that includes obviously beating Arsenal. But if you win your games, you'll win the league. But you are going to have a couple of games in hand after your semi-final next week. You're going to be another game behind, aren't you? So it could catch up with you. Champions League, semi-finals, league games. That's what could play into Arsenal's hand.
It's okay. We have a very large squad that was put together at a great cost.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah.
But to be honest, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, normally I would denounce the Champions League as being the target. This is City's best chance of ever winning the Champions League. So I would actually put more into the Champions League than what I would the league right now.
So the big games I think for Man City are Brighton away. Interestingly, Chelsea are terrible, but you got them the penultimate game at home. Will they find any kind of form by that time?
They might have scored a goal by then.
We've been turning them over every game we've played them since the Champions League final.
They might have scored a goal by then as well.
The last game, I get away at Brentford.
Yeah, that's a tricky tie, but it depends whether Brentford have got anything to play for by then. If they're mid-table, if they're like 8th or 9th and they can't get Europe, then they may not have that much to play for at that time.
But the thing with Brentford is Brentford always play like they've got nothing to lose, which is why they play so well.
Yeah, I also think though this is a very different City team to what it was 4 months ago.
Yeah, I agree. Right, gentlemen, thank you very much for your time. It's been very pleasurable to listen to your comments, and hopefully we have a lovely weekend of football. I will be watching Joe Joyce against Zhili Zhang tomorrow evening for the boxing. Don't forget, guys, if you don't already, I do a Tuesday podcast called The Breakdown on the Undefeated podcast channel on YouTube. We will be doing a watch along on Sunday afternoon, with Arsenal away to West Ham. Good luck for your teams respectively for the weekend, apart from you, Drew. And yes, we will hopefully see you again next Friday. Cool. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Speak later. Okay, bye.